Welcome to this week's edition of the Q1 Buck Poll. I'm Tim Hart-Haberl. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. Well, we haven't had a lot of success. I know you shot a buck, but together we've not had a lot of success. But on today's show, we've got a young lady from Coldwater who has great success.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's got bragging rights, I would believe, throughout the county. And I'm so proud of her because she's not only a Coldwater student, but she attends the Branch Area Career Center. And she brought that buck in today, and she was the envy of the eye of every hunter that was in that building. Kept going by my office, wanting to look through the window to see the magnificent buck she shot.
All right, today we have all kinds of bucks on the show, but we're also going to talk about some new products to take out in the woods with Randy Van Dam from DNR Sports Center in Kalamazoo. We've got the DNR with us, and Sergeant John Jersich is going to be with us. He's going to talk about some of the new poaching fees that can be exorbitant if you shoot the wrong buck.
You don't want to do that because it's a heavy price to pay to making those kinds of mistakes, so don't go out there and make one of them.
And we'll talk about how much this guy is going to have to pay when it's all said and done. A lot. We also have Tony LaPratte on with us. He's going to talk about the post-rut and, again, giving you some ideas for success after the rut happens. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. I'm Tim Hart-Haberl. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll.
Country Smokehouse was started years ago by myself and Suzanne, and we want to specialize in homemade, old-fashioned sausage and jerkies and things like that. People say it's a destination. They come out for the barbecue, they come out for the homemade sausages. A lot of organic people, natural people want to buy the product because they can't find it in the local stores. We are the largest processor in the state of Michigan. We invite all hunters to come in, bring your deer in, or just stop in and check us out so you can see yourself.
I recommend you come to the Country Smokehouse because you'll never be disappointed.
Trophy Class Real Estate specializes in listing and selling unique recreational, hunting land, and vacant land properties.
Hi, I'm Dan Hoffman. We're the premier real estate brokerage firm for Cabela's Trophy Properties in Michigan. If you're looking to buy, we have great properties like this one.
Here's 24 acres of vacant land and waterfront in Calhoun County. The property includes your very own 7-acre buildable island. There's great whitetail deer hunting and fishing. Own a one-of-a-kind piece of property.
Call us today or go online to see all of our properties.
When a hunter graduates from my new Super Whitetail Boot Camp, he will be in the top 1% of the deer hunters in the country. There's hundreds of little things people need to know to really have the ultimate property. I come in and show people how to put all the right pieces of the puzzle in that property. To hold deer, get more born on the property, make them come by the stands, keep them from the neighbors during daylight hours. I'm Tony LaPratte from Ultimate Land Management, and I'm inviting you to our new Super Whitetail Boot Camp.
Back here on the Q1 Buck Poll, well, it's time now to celebrate the successful hunters out there with Mike Big Buck Hoffner.
Let's start up in the thumb with Cody Hutchinson shooting a 10-pointer, the score 47.5. Greg Billups from Southeast Michigan brings in a 10-pointer, the score 47.5. And Dale Prater from Southwest Mid-Michigan also brings in a 10-pointer, the score 46.5.
Well, there's new products out there to help you have success. I had a chance to talk to Randy Van Dam at DNR Sports Center, and here's some tips about some products on the market. We're at DNR Sports Center in Kalamazoo with Randy Van Dam. Randy, welcome to the Buck Poll.
Hi, Tim.
Now, we're going to talk about some products that you might want to take a look at as you go out there hunting. And there's been some changes to some traditional products. And let's start, first of all, Randy, with some scent control.
All right. We've all taken care of our clothing and tried to take care of our things to get the, protect ourselves from the deer and the scent. We all know how they have such a acute sense of
Oh,
smell.
yeah. They get that nose going.
A lot of us, we know we've been spraying ourselves for years to get the scent down and everything else, washing our clothes to do it. Now there's some additional products that just make it so much easier. There's products like this. This is a White Tailor scent purge, they call it. There's a couple other brands that do it too, but you put your clothes in the closet, you turn this on and spray it, or you're in your bag or in the car, whatever. It kills all the scent on your clothing at the molecular level. So it purifies your clothes in about a couple hours time type thing, 2-3 hours type thing, and then you're putting on clean clothes. It was invented in the sterilization of the hospital industry, and it's just been fantastic. I've been doing my clothes for several years that way and had fantastic luck. I still spray around my head and face, type thing. You do that thing. Now I started too with this ozonics.
Okay.
Now I'm putting this over my head at the thing, and it emits ozone on there, and a path ozone blankets my scent. Any scent going out there is blanketed by this ozone. It kills the at the molecular level. The deer do not have a chance anymore.
So now let's also talk about this irresistible buck call. It's called the Dirty Little Doe.
Dirty Little Doe.
You gotta like the name.
A friend of mine, John Kennedy, has been trying to develop this for, I'd say 20 years. He's been playing around with it. He had some prototype models and stuff like that. He's had some of the major call companies wanting to buy him out and stuff, and he don't need the money.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm just going to do this myself because I love the sport. He's got it going all over the country. I've used it now for 2 years, and I could tell you all kinds of stories. I pulled bucks off of does. I pulled, just had them coming 3 at a time, and you can blow it loud so you can get them to hear you type thing. I'll blow it once here for you, and basically you kind of, and you can be that loud or louder, and it's kind of like a ooh-ah type sound like that thing, and it brings the bucks. And it's a rut call. I mean, it's not like an all-year type thing, but when they're in the heat and it's the one, they line up for it.
The Dirty Little Doe.
The Dirty Little Doe.
You'll find it here at DNR Sports Center. Of course, and then we've got, again, the White Tailor and the Ozonics. So just different ways to make sure that you have a successful hunt out there.
Absolutely.
Randy, thanks for being with us.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Little product review here at DNR Sports Center in Kalamazoo. I'm Tim Hart-Haverhill, and you're watching the Q1 Buck.
At Outfitters Taxidermy, I do high quality work at reasonable prices. We do it all at Outfitters Taxidermy, from birds, small mammals, fish, deer, shoulder mounts, full body mounts. I pay attention to the details in the mount, like your eyes, the nose, and the way the horns are set. Make sure the measurement's all correct, just like it is when you brought it in. If you're not sure how to cape your deer, I can do it for you, show you how to do it, where to make cuts, where not to make cuts. When you shoot that buck of a lifetime, give me a call at Outfitters Taxidermy.
Hunting, fishing, trapping, Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley.
We got the biggest selection of trapping supplies in West Michigan, and the experience to go along with it, so we can teach you how to do everything right here on the spot.
Long guns and handguns for any application, and expert service from someone who lives the outdoors.
Don't forget, we got a great selection of ammo.
You'll find it all at Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley. Stop in or call Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley for the best deals around.
Hi, my name is Vic Havens, and we invite you to stop here at Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley, Michigan.
Get your boots on at Backroad Saloon, the area's #1 country music entertainment, featuring a spacious 5,000 square foot dance floor catered to line dancing. Backroad Saloon, where there's live music on the weekends and special guests. Join us November 13th for Ty Herndon, and then on November 20th it's Jamie O'Neill. And don't forget our New Year's Eve bash. Get your tickets now. Backroad Saloon, the Nashville of the North, the area's #1 country music venue.
Great information. There's always something new on the market, isn't there?
Well, I'll tell you what, hunting is a booming business, booming industry, brings a lot into a community, so support those hunters.
Next up, we have our feature with our successful hunter, Cassandra Carey.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, awesome lady, magnificent job. Like I said earlier in the beginning part of the segment, the envy of the eye of everybody in our building at the Branch Area Career Center. And my heart goes out to those people that get those deer, because she's done it the right way. She understands the concepts of deer hunting, and I'm proud of what she's done.
All right, here's my interview with Cassandra Carey. Well, it's time to talk to a successful hunter, 2 years running. Actually, for quite a few years, she's been successful. Cassandra Carey is with us from Coldwater. And first of all, we're going to talk about your 2013 buck. This scored a little over 168. And what a fabulous deer. Tell me about your hunt here.
We went and sat in the fence row, and the wind was coming out of the west, so it was a perfect spot. He came in, coming at us, going towards the east, and he came up close enough to where I knew I was going to get a good shot, turned broadside, and I dropped him.
Now, had you seen this deer before at all?
Trail cam pictures.
Okay, so you had some trail cam pictures. You knew he was out there.
Yep.
You knew the spot he was.
Yep.
Right? And your dad was out there hunting with you, right?
Yes, he was.
All right. And then you had another buck later last year, is that correct?
Yep.
So you had 2 nice bucks.
Yep, a nice 12.
Wait, a great buck and then just a nice 12.
He's pretty nice. He's 130 something, I forgot.
All right, well, some of you guys that have been out there for 30 years and haven't gotten a buck like this, she is lucky.
Yeah, I am.
The planning is right. Okay, so now let's talk about 2014. You got another buck here. This is a 10-pointer. Tell me about this one.
We were sitting in the corner of the woods because the wind was coming out of the southeast, and we watched him come in, and we didn't know if we wanted him, so we watched him bed down in the beans. And about a little while later, my dad said, well, we're gonna move. So we moved towards the south, and then we moved into the beans, and we spooked one. Then a little while later, my dad asked if we wanted to stay there or we could leave because I could go out that night. And after that, he said he was going to do something else. So he stood up, went around, and he popped his head up, and 2 small bucks he was with left. They ran because they smelled him. So he came back, and we got about 30 yards closer, and he threw a rock.
See, there's a lot of ways to have a good method out there.
We tried to kiss at him, like,
right?
He didn't want to do nothing. He wouldn't move, so my dad just threw a rock. He finally stood up, looked around, and I was checking out his rack. My dad's waiting for me to pull the trigger, and then my dad went to tell me where to shoot, and I pulled the trigger and dropped him. So.
Well, that is very cool. So a couple of different ways of getting the buck's attention a little bit. So what do you like most about being out there and hunting?
I like being patient and how quiet it is.
All right, and you've always been going out with your dad?
Yep, I like spending time with him too. So
that's kind of cool, walking the woods and the fields and everything, isn't it? Well, congratulations, and we'll see these on the Q1 Buck Poll. Cassandra Carey from Coldwater.
Everything for the sportsman.
DNR Sports Center.
For the hunter, tree stands, bows, guns, and gear, all the top brands.
Right here at DNR Sports Center.
For the fisherman, check out the huge selection of boats, marine supplies, and tackle.
DNR Sports Center.
Full service mechanic for boats, guns, and bows. One-stop shopping, a huge selection, and the best service around.
Come see for yourself and experience the personal service at DNR Sports Center. Everything for the sportsman.
Add style to your bedroom or living room with log furniture from Thurston's Furniture. One-of-a-kind log bedroom sets, dressers, mirrors, easy beds that convert from a couch to a bed. Specializing in custom orders, Thurston's offers a great selection to choose from. Plus, check out our Northwoods Wildlife Print area rugs. Want a camo recliner? You'll find it at Thurston's. Thurston's Furniture on M60 in Homer. Everything you want in log furnishings at great prices.
The great outdoors has a lot to offer, and if you're ready to experience it on the next level, Greenstone can help you get it done. We finance acreage of nearly any size, from a hunter's haven to adventurous trails, or even that relaxing place on the lake. Greenstone's loan options make owning land affordable, with terms up to 30 years. And with 36 locations in Michigan and Northeast Wisconsin, we're just a short drive away. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com. Greenstone Farm Credit Services. We finance the great outdoors.
Well, again, there's been a lot of hunters out there registering their deer. Go to q1buckpull.com. You can download the form or take your deer to any location across the state at one of our official registration locations. And Big Buck, you've got some nice-looking bucks in your hand.
Yes, we do. Let's start out with Chad Cook up in the far north with a 10-pointer, the score 39 3/4. Richard Ackerman up in the thumb area brought an 11-pointer, the score 45 1/2. And Michael Tice in southwest Michigan's 11-pointer brings in a score of 48.875.
Okay, so the fines have been changed this year for poaching, and it does not pay. I'm telling you, it does not pay. No, you will pay if you poach?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you better pay attention to this segment because you don't want to be one of these people.
Well, today we're going to talk about the new trophy buck poaching law. We've got Sergeant John Jersich with us. Welcome to the Buck Poll.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, today, we've got a situation here. We got two racks that really kind of cuts to the core of the hunters that go out in the woods and do it the right way. Here's somebody who totally did it the wrong way and is going to pay a heavy fine for doing it. John, let's just start a little bit with the scenario and what happened, and then we'll get into some of the issues with the trophy buck law and how it changed and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, what we have here is a report came into our Report All Poaching hotline in Lansing, the 800 number that we provide. Some information relating to the youth hunt weekend where we had a young fellow that was taken out, 8-year-old hunter in fact. The adult that accompanied him on this particular youth hunt elected to take these 2 trophy deer illegally in the presence of the young man and denied hunting opportunity and kind of a lost experience for the weekend on ethical behavior, legal actions, and what the Mentored Hunter program is all about. It ended up resulting in 2 illegal deer kills, both of which now have become the first case in the state involving our trophy buck law.
All right, so years ago, or last year I should say, it'd be $200 to $1,000 plus $1,000 restitution for the animal. So it could be a $1,200 up to $2,000 fine per deer.
Correct.
Okay, how does that change, and what have we added to it this year?
Well, what's changed now is we've had a penalty section that's been basically in place since 1990. In trying to protect our trophy animals today and gear it towards this problem, we've now added that the standard fine spoken to there of $200 to $1,000 and $1,000 restitution on the animal has now been enhanced to, on any antlered deer, add another $1,000 in restitution, so a minimum of $2,000 restitution on that animal. For white-tailed deer that are 8, 9, or 10 points, antler points, 1-inch measurement, you can add an additional $500 per point to those animals, and for any animals that are 11 points or greater, $750 per point. And then in addition to what was always a revocation period of the year of conviction in the next 3 years, that's now been enhanced by 2 additional years. So taking a deer 8 points or larger illegal in Michigan will now cost a minimum of $2,000 in restitution and $500 per point, or
so
$750.
9-pointer, $4,500, 9-pointer, $4,500. And what about jail time? Do they get jail time?
Well, jail time has always been a mandatory minimum 5 days in Michigan. That has stayed the same, but the revocation period has now been enhanced by 2 years. Case in point, we've already moved this case through the court system. We're looking here at $12,000 in penalties for these 2 animals, as well as 5 years loss of hunting privileges.
It absolutely is not worth it. Plus, you've got the youngster who you took out in the woods who was supposed to have a wonderful experience.
Correct.
Now has a total bad taste in their mouth, probably for years to come and forever. As they get, as they grow up and be a hunter.
Well, for any adults that are involved in our mentored hunt, this is a very, very influential and important time for that youngster to be out hunting, or if they're mentoring an adult for that matter. Things should be followed, the letter of the law. The experience should be a good one. This turned out to be a very negative experience for both the young hunter and for the adult who chose to break the law, and very costly. In this case, again, I could repeat, $12,000 in penalties here for these 2 animals. We're hoping that under this new penalty section, we can target some of our chronic trophy poachers, the trespassers, the road hunters that give our legal hunters a bad name and cause a lot of problems for our legal hunters afield and our wildlife viewers. But also, I might want to remind that there's sometimes a temptation there when 2 trophies available and somebody might slightly go to the other side and break a rule. Remember, the penalty today could just be incredible for a deer. Of a 10-point deer today could cost $5,000 or $6,000 very quickly.
And if you know somebody that's out there poaching or trespassing, remember the RAP line, the Report All Poaching line. You can give the information and then the officers will follow up on it. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, Sergeant John Jersich with us here for the DNR, talking about the new trophy buck poaching law. I'm Tim Hart-Haberl, and you're watching the Q1 Buck.
Did you know that Tire City is more than just tires? Marshall Tire, Albion Tire, and Charlotte Tire are all more than just tires at great prices. We're your complete auto repair center. We're brakes, oil changes, steering and suspension, diagnostics. We're more than just tires. We're your complete auto repair facility. Tire City, Marshall, Albion, and Charlotte.
Well, we've got some big bucks now to show you. Of course, Cassandra Carey's bucks, from 2013, that was just a monster.
Yeah, hats off. Oh
yeah.
Man.
But then this year's buck is just a beautiful buck, too. But we got some bucks here to show people.
All right, let's start out with Southwest Mid-Michigan's Clinton Goings, bringing in a 17-pointer, nice score of 55 1/4. Then George Paris, Southwest Michigan buck, is an 8-pointer with the score of 45 1/4. And listen to this one. Chris Evenhouse's 18-pointer, South Central Michigan, with a whopping score of 62 1/4.
And we've got all kinds of trail cam pictures. We got all kinds of pictures. I'm going to do an interview with Chris here in the next week, and then we'll have that on the show so you can hear the entire story, because he's got a cool story to go with it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, people that shoot those big ones, there's nothing better. Man, it gets fired up. It's better than telling fishing stories.
All right, what about the post rut? What do you do? How do you have success? Here's Tony LaPratte from the Ultimate Land Management and Whitetail Boot Camp with his tips.
Now let's look at the post rut. And what's going on at this time? When does it start? Now, guys, really the post rut starts normally in the Midwest after all the breeding is done. But here in Michigan, it starts basically November 15th. When all the deer hunters hit the woods, it changes everything for the rest of the year. So now let's look at the post rut and the farm locations and buck movement. Now, on November 15th, the buck is not in his hardcore safe area. He's out with the girls, okay, breeding her someplace. So on the 15th, you could kill that buck on A, B, C, or D, because he's trying to get back to the big swamp. So you have a chance. But on the 16th, that night, he will be to his safe area. After it settles down, he will get back in the swamp. Now, the post rut really starts, the best way to explain it, second day of gun season. Now, Farm D would have no chance at killing that buck at this time. Farm C would not be. Farm B would not be. Here is the buck. Now he's bedded in his hardcore bedding area back here in the swamp. He's up on some little island or some thicket or where a bunch of storms went through and blew a bunch of trees down. He's inside there. Now he's going to be in a very short pattern. He's just going to come out enough to get a little food, eat a little bit, and go right back into cover. Now his world shrinks. The smallest it is out of his whole life during the post rut is his smallest travel route. So now he is in a very tight area. So now you need to have a Farm A to be hunting after a couple days of season. That's why you really need to control buck beds and all this, because when you control that, my hunting property is good from October 1st to January 1st. Most properties, I've walked over 1,300. Very rarely do I find a property without work that's going to match that scenario. What most of them do is need to do some key ingredients on that property, make buck beds, doe beds, fawning areas, or add other food plots, and etc. to make them have a Farm A. The good news is you can make any property a Farm A with work, okay? But naturally set up, most properties fall in that C range. Okay, now let's look at the post rut. Now, everything's different. Now, the beginning point is basically second day of gun season, like I said. Now, hunting strategy, you need to be hunting close to thick cover. You got to remember, this buck is no longer going to be caught out in an open field. He is not going to get caught in a park effect woods. He is hunting and hiding. You need to be hunting him where he hides. His hiding areas are always going to be thick cover. Now, He is physically ran down. You got to understand, during the rut, he bred these does. From the scrape period, he started losing weight. Deer lose a ton of weight, the bucks. And now he needs to recover. If he doesn't know he's being hunted and you're doing everything, you're in or exit, you can still kill these bucks in late season because they think no one's hunting them. But if you've been given any kind of clues to him, he's going to just turn nocturnal on you. So you got to understand when to hunt, how to enter and exit, and you also got to understand when to take does, and all this all makes a difference whether you're going to see that buck in the late season. Pattern. He's more predictable. Now I know where he's going to be. He's going to be in any thick cover, and he's going to go to the closest food source. He don't care where the best food source is. He's going to go to the closest one because he's always worried about survival. Signs are not important. Look at the rubs at this time. From November 21st to the 30th, only 3% of the rubs are made. So again, guys, once the rut's over and he knows he's being hunted, his activity level drops way down. This is why most guys, after the second, third day of gun season, they know their chances is basically over because they are hunting a farm D, C, or maybe a B. They don't maybe not understand all these things, but they know every year they don't see nothing. And that is why they do not control buck beds. He's now in his hardcore bedding area. So guys, if you don't really have a place and you ain't seeing bucks in the late season, it's because you're not controlling. And bucks will travel miles to go to a great property. They could care less about food, how far they travel for food, water, or girls. They are survivors. They're a unique animal. He becomes basically nocturnal because he knows everyone's hunting him. Bucks need to feed, and he's physically ran down. He has to regain strength. Signs are not important at this time. Hope for cold weather. Guys, these big bucks, after 3 extreme days of cold weather, he has to move. So if it's high winds, rain, cold, whatever it is, on the third morning, be in your stand closest to the thick cover between it and the bedding area of the big buck and a food source, and you're going to catch him lingering around a little bit because he has to regain strength. And basically understand where you're shooting does and everything. So to wrap this all up during the post-rut, the key is to understand what a big buck wants at that time of year. Make sure you have the thick cover on your property. You are hunting it wisely, getting in and out, and not giving any clues, because at this time the buck will not take one mistake from you.
Coldwater Gun & Pawn, your concealed weapon headquarters. Buy, sell, trade. We do volume so you have selection with new guns arriving daily. Need ammo at the best prices around? Stop into Coldwater Gun & Pawn. Plus, we pay cash for guns or anything of value, including gold and silver, where we pay the highest prices in Southern Michigan. Plus, we have DVDs, guitars, gifts, and more. Long guns or handguns, come see our selection today at Coldwater Gun & Pawn.
What a great show today. I mean, a lot of information, a lot of success, a lot of bucks. I mean, this is what it's all about. I just enjoy this time of year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm excited because it keeps getting better, and better. And the deer are on the move. The rut is out there. They're chasing. The only thing, Tim, we haven't had too much luck, but we picked some awful days where the wind conditions were terrible and the weather wasn't convenient either for deer hunting. But the season's not over. There's a lot of season ahead of us for us to get out there and still try to get that bigger one.
All right. Well, I'm going to be at the Country Smokehouse today until about 8 p.m. Come out and see me. I'm going to be measuring deer. We're going to have a lot of fun out there. And they've got, Greenstone Farm Credit Services is going to be there. They're going to have all kinds of things happening. So join me today at the Country Smokehouse. For Mike Big Buck Hoffner, I'm Tim Hart-Haverhill. Thanks for watching this edition of the Q1 Buck Pull. And remember, whenever you're out in the woods, be safe.
Great country for Kalamazoo. Find us on your radio at 102.5, online at greatcountry1025.com, and on your mobile device on iHeartRadio. Kalamazoo's Great Country 1025, powered by Nash.